This is the one thing that you know inside of you, whether you can be an entrepreneur or not. Now, 99% of the world is not going to be an entrepreneur. I just made that number up, 99%, but it's really, really high. You know that one thing, that one little thing that makes the difference between being an entrepreneur and not being an entrepreneur? It's actually starting it. My name is Kamal. I'm the Honest Entrepreneur. This is my fourth startup I'm on, and this video I'm going to talk about taking that first step. As I said, being an entrepreneur, it's about taking that first step. Now, I've been doing this for 14 years now. I started with a recruitment company. I then tried a digital recruitment company, and then I tried a debit card for kids. And now I'm on my fourth startup, which is Blinkr. But you know what I did every time that people say to me, wow, that's the difference is I actually did them. I actually take steps and go out and do these things, right? I have an idea. I think, hang on, that's a good idea. I want to do something about it. And I take steps, right? I quit banking in 2012. I was earning a lot of money in banking. I was very, very comfortable. I was young and I was growing. But I took that first step to become an entrepreneur. Do I regret that step? Never. I have not worked for anyone in, 14 years? I've never taken money from any corporation for 14 years. I've always paid myself. Now, am I in the same position as was if I be in corporate? No, because I haven't hit the big time yet. But I keep going and I keep taking those steps and I keep doing those things to get me started. People say, oh, I have a great idea, and I just don't know. I'm like, if you've got a good idea, you just got to go for it. But what if it's not a good idea? Well, you're never going to know if you don't go for it, right? You have to take the spirit and just get up and go. You have to do it. You have to take that step. You have to get rid of it. You cannot run a startup and a corporate job at the same time. You just can't do it. Impossible. You can have the idea to plant the seeds while you're in a corporate job earning that money, right? But to really make that startup grow, you need to take that step and you need to do it and you need to get out into that environment where that startup is everything for you. Everything is based on that startup, right? That's how you're going to get through it. That's how you're going to succeed. When there's no other option to get out of it, but that's succeeding. Funny thing is, it probably 90% of the time will fail, right? But you have to do it. And if you look at my Honest Entrepreneur series and you look back through them, right, you'll see the people that I covered, all people that took chances, right? What was his name? Brian Chesky, Airbnb. What did he do? They started a cereal box company, right? While they were trying to make their Airbnb work. Because they believed in the idea. They kept going. In fact, he was his own first customer when it happened. Then there's Palmer Luckey. Palmer Luckey did VRs, right? When the army was throwing away these VRs and everyone thought the technology was dead, he kept going. He kept pushing. He kept taking those steps, right, to do it because he had nothing else left. And he sold it around to $2 billion to Meta and then started a new company, right? He took that first step to a new company. He could have retired then, but he took that first step to a new company. And what was that new company? It was an industry that he wasn't likely to change, the military industry. And now he's worth $38 billion, his company, right? Because he took that first step. He didn't sit back on his laurels and say, oh, I've made $2 billion, that's it. He took that first step. Yeah, all right. All of you are going to say, oh, but he had the money to do that. And yes, he did. But before that, when he was fixing iPhones for, $10 just to keep him surviving while he built the VR companies. Come on, guys. If you're serious about building a company, if you're serious about being an entrepreneur, if you're serious about being an entrepreneur, you've got to take that first step. You've got to take that first step. You've got to get out of your comfort zone and you have to go out there and try something different. You have to make sure that you've got that effort in you and be laser focused on going on it, right? I'm sure the things inside you will provoke the goal to succeed, the hunger to succeed. I have three kids now, and right now I am earning nothing, and I am really struggling, but I haven't given up. I keep going because I'm focused on it. Those are the steps I've taken to make this succeed. Those are the steps I'm willing to take as an entrepreneur. Everything inside me, right? These, you know, what always goes on in my head, these bankers, these consultants, they're all earning huge amounts of money, right? But who are they working for? They're working for people like me. Well, not people like me, I haven't succeeded yet. But eventually, if I do succeed, they're working for people like me that make the decisions. They just give us opinions, right? But you're the one, or me, or the entrepreneur is the one making the decision. That is the very, very top of it. You know, there's a saying, I think it's from The Layer Cake. The Layer Cake is a film, it's a Hollywood or UK film. Is it Guy Ritchie? It could be Guy Ritchie, Layer Cake. But anyway, there's a little quote in that. It's amazing. A little scene where he says, look, you were born, you take a little bit of beep. You go a little bit older, you take a little less beep. You get a little bit higher than that, and you don't take any more beep. Until one day, you're so far up, high up in the sky, that you start giving out all the beep, right? It's called the layer cake, son, he says. It's a brilliant sphere. My editor can bring it up and beep out the beeps.
You're born, you take shit. Get out in the world, you take more shit. Climb a little higher, take less shit. Till one day you're up in the rarefied atmosphere and you've forgotten what shit even looks like. Welcome to the layer cake, son.
And that's the number one rule of becoming an entrepreneur. The number one kind of thing. If you want to know what you are as an entrepreneur, and if you can be an entrepreneur, that's it. Take that first step. Make that move. Get out of your comfort zone and go for it. Because you can only fail if you never start, right? You will always regret never trying. And especially, the worst thing about it, especially if someone else comes up and does the same idea you had the brainwaves for, and you're like, oh, I had that idea. Anyway, this is Kamal, the Honest Entrepreneur. That was a very energetic session. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you take those steps. Please, please, please click like, subscribe, and share, or share, like, and subscribe, whatever one the editor wants to put out there first. Download Blinkr and help me succeed, please. Blinkr app, Blinkr app, Blinkr app. Have a nice day, everyone. I'll do another series soon. The Honest Entrepreneur. Bye-bye.